The New York Mets are out. Everybody, welcome to New York Mets baseball over WIZR Radio. Mets 1972 baseball brought to you by Walt Walk-In, the Shepherd Oil Company, Fields and Baxter Insurance, Sarris's Restaurant Fonda, Uragway Store, Florence Siddeley Realtor, and Howell and Pearson, your Dodge dealer. The New York Mets in just a moment.
Everybody, this is Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kainer. Greeting you from Shea Stadium. Tonight, the New York Mets open a three-game series against the red-hot Cincinnati Reds, managed by Sparky Anderson. The Reds have won 7 in a row, 19 of their last 24. They are now just one-half game behind the Los Angeles Dodgers for the lead in the West of the National League. The skies are overcast. The breeze blowing from left across toward right. Tonight, the Mets extend a warm greeting to the more than 10,000 New York State Masons and Knights of Columbus. They are here for the 5th annual Fraternal Night at Shea Stadium. The pregame ceremonies are taking place. The starting pitchers in tonight's game for Cincinnati, their ace right-hander, Gary Nolan, a record of 7-1. On the mound for the New York Mets, Jim McAndrew. Mac has won 4 while losing only 1. Now we'll return with the starting lineups in just 1 minute.
Now is the time to have your heating equipment checked by the experts at Shepherd Oil Company. They are in business to serve you. As exclusive holders of EFM franchise, Shepherd Oil is in position to offer you the latest, the most efficient heating units available in the world today. EFM, Electric Furnace Man's reputation has been earned by delivering a quality product for over 41 years of manufacturing. Highly skilled craftsmen plus modern equipment equals precision products at low cost, and Shepherd Oil wants to acquaint you with this quality product. You'd really be surprised at how little they cost and how many dollars this equipment can save you on your fuel cost. Don't delay. Be ready for Old Man Winter with a new heating unit from Shepherd Oil Company. Call 762-7812 for a free estimate. Remember, at Shepherd Oil Company, their motto is service first. New York Mets baseball on WIZR brought to you by the Shepherd Oil Company. Dial 762-7812. That's Shepherd Oil Company, 762-7812.
The pregame ceremonies are taking place at the moment, this being the 5th annual Fraternal Night. The Mets again extend a very hearty welcome to the 10,000 New York State Masons and Knights of Columbus who are here this evening. It's always quite an evening when they're on hand. The bands and the drum and bugle corps are on the field to entertain the crowd prior to the ballgame. The lineups and batting orders for tonight's game. For the Cincinnati Reds, one of baseball's truly outstanding hitters, switch hitter, Pete Rose will lead off and play left field. Joe Morgan will be at second base, batting second. Year in and year out, his on-base percentage is among the very best in Major League Baseball. This year already, he has scored 44 runs. In addition to his 45 hits, he has drawn 36 walks and leads the National League in stolen bases with 19. Bobby Tolan, writing a big comeback story, will be in center field, batting third. Johnny Bench, the hottest thing in baseball, behind the plate, batting cleanup. Bench had an incredible week, hitting 7 home runs in just 5 ball games. Tony Perez will be at first base, hitting fifth. Joe Haig, the former Cardinal, will be in right field, batting sixth. Dennis Menke has a leg that bothers him a little bit, and Julian Javier will be at third base. Dave Concepcion is shortstop, batting eighth, and on the mound, batting ninth, 24-year-old Gary Nolan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, We join the pregame ceremonies on the field.
Want to get on the other side of this?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We conclude the pregame ceremonies tonight, the 5th annual fraternal night. And checking the lineup and batting order for the New York Mets, Bud Harrelson, celebrating his 28th birthday today, will be at shortstop batting leadoff. Jim Fregosi returns to third base and bats second. Tommy Agee in center field batting third. Rusty Staub, the right fielder, hitting cleanup. John Milner in left field, batting fifth. Leon Jones playing first base and hitting sixth. Wayne Garrett will be at second base, batting seventh. Jerry Grody behind the plate, batting eighth. And on the mound, batting ninth, right-hander Jim McAndrew. Ed Kluszewski brings the lineup card out to home plate. Yogi Berra brings out the Met slip. The umpiring alignment here this evening, Bruce Fromming behind the plate. Ed Fargo at first base. Paul Pryor at second, and Harry Wendelstedt will be the umpire at third. Bruce Fromming, Ed Fargo, Paul Pryor, and Harry Wendelstedt are the umpires. This is the opening game of a three-game series. The Mets and Reds play tomorrow night. Game time 8:05 here at Shea. Gary Gentry and Jim McLaughlin will be the pitchers. The final game of the series on Thursday afternoon. Tom Seaver, 8-2, will be opposed by Ross Grimsley, 2-1. We will be broadcasting each game of the series, including the game on Thursday afternoon. Jim McAndrew has completed his warm-ups and is on his way into the dugout. And right now, here's one of your favorite Mets.
Hi, I'm Ed Sainful of the Mets. This broadcast comes to you through the courtesy of solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express consent of the New York Mets is prohibited.
In other games in the National League tonight, Houston playing at Philadelphia. The Astros lead the Phillies 2-0 after 2 innings. Dave Roberts 3-3, pitching against Woody Fryman 2-4. The Atlanta Braves are in Montreal. They will pitch Ron Reed against Ernie McAdams. Pittsburgh at San Diego. The Mets take the playing field. The Pirates and Padres were rained out in San Diego last night. They will make it up in the form of a twilighter tomorrow. The Pirates a hot team. The Bucks have won 16 of their last 20, while San Diego has lost 5 in a row at 11 out of 12. The Cubs are at Dodger Stadium, and these two ball clubs are both hot. It should make quite a series. The Cubs have won 10 of 13. The Dodgers 7 out of 9. St. Louis will be in San Francisco. In the American League, the Yankees are down in Arlington, Texas for a series with the Rangers. Vida Blue pitching tonight for Oakland, and the A's lead Cleveland 1-0 after an inning and a half. Vince Colbert is the Cleveland pitcher. The Indians, who are riding high, have been ambushed and fallen onto hard times. They've now lost 10 of their last 12. Oakland, on the other hand, has won 4 in a row, 14 of the last 17. Minnesota at Baltimore, no score in the second. Jim Cott against Jim Palmer. And the Orioles have been skidding. They've lost 4 in a row, 6 out of 7. A doubleheader in Detroit. The Tigers lead California 6-1 after 4.5 innings. Mickey Lolich bidding for his 9th win. Ex-Met farmhand Don Rose was knocked out. In came Ed Fisher and later Alan Foster. A 3-run homer by Ed Brinkman. Boston will be at Chicago and Milwaukee at Kansas City. Switch hitter Pete Rose will lead off against Jim McAndrew. Rose always a slow starter, and then he starts to warm to his task when the year is over. It's a good bet he'll have his 200 base hits. This is quite a ball player. Pete Rose hitting left-handed. And the pitch is over. Strike one call. Fastball just missed the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. McAndrew has won 4 and lost 1. And his ERA is 2.31. Mack has given up only 1 run in each of his last 2 starts. Now the breaking ball inside and low. It's 2-1. Pete Rose has a lifetime Major League batting average of .309. For Pete, this is his 10th year. And a foul ball back, no play. Of his 9 years, Pete Rose has had 200 or more hits. Last year he missed it. He had 192. The 2-2 delivery hit down the left field line, a foul ball going into the crowd. Pete Rose has hit over 300, 7 straight years. Other active players in the major leagues who can say they hit 300 for 7 straight years are Willie Mays and Roberto Clemente. And a fastball strike call in the outside corner. Rose is caught looking. The second baseman, Joe Morgan, left-hand hitter, batting .276. He leads the National League in runs scored with 45. He has scored 44 runs. He has 45 hits. But remember, he walks an awful lot. Morgan has already walked 36 times this year. Pitched by McAndrew, a towering fly ball hit to right field. Rusty Staub jogging in, has an easy play. He's under it and makes the catch. Morgan retired on a fly to right. He hit the first pitch. Now the number 3 hitter, Bobby Tolan. Bobby missed action last year as the result of a ruptured Achilles tendon. But Bobby Tolan has put it all back together. He's hitting at .312. 4 home runs, 28 runs batted in. And already has stolen 15 bases, which indicates that he got all of his old speed back. The infield and the outfield is around to right. The pitch by McAndrew hit in the air, a pop-up to short left. Buddy Harrelson backpedaling. He's under it. Buddy has it side retired. Strong start for Jim McAndrew. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. In the middle of the first inning, The Cincinnati Reds nothing. The New York Mets are coming to bat.
Everything you need to know in paint and color is Vivo. Rainbow colors, sugar trees are from before and Celanese. Got you covered out or in, got you covered big or thin. Paint a house or paint a wall, touch it up or cover all. Everything you need to know in paint and color is Vivo. Rainbow colors, sugar trees are from before and Celanese.
In days of old, knights were bold. Bold because they wore heavy armor and carried huge shields. Knights had to protect themselves from on-the-job hazards like evil villains and fire-breathing dragons. Maybe you don't rescue fair maidens for a living, but if your job demands safety gear and protective clothing, wear it. Don't get burned. For more information, contact the nearest office of the U.S. Department of Labor.
Reds on defense. On the mound, Gary Nolan. The 24-year-old right-hander has won 7, lost only 1. Behind the plate, Johnny Bench. In the infield, Tony Perez playing first base. Joe Morgan at second. Dave Concepcion is the shortstop. And Julian Javier is filling in for Dennis Menke at third. Pete Rose in left field. Bobby Tolan in center. Joe Haig around at right. And Johnny Bench now goes out for a word with Gary Nolan. Gary Nolan has a lifetime record against the New York Mets of 11 wins and only 2 losses. Last year, Gary was 12 and 15. The previous year, when the Reds won in the West, he was 18 and 7. High outside to Buddy Harrelson, it's ball 1. Bud hitting at 228. Cincinnati outfield is shallow around the left against Bud. And a ground ball back to the mound, taken easily by Gary Nolan. On to Tony Perez, 1 down. Jim Fregosi steps in. Jim hitting 240. And a fastball taken low, ball 1. Yogi gave Fregosi a couple of days off, hoping that it might help him to shake out of a batting slump. Tommy Agee waiting on deck, and then Rusty Staub. The 1-0 delivery, a swing and a foul ball, no play. On the coaching lines at third, Eddie Yost. Coaching at first base, Sheriff Robinson. Night game tomorrow night. Gary Gentry pitches against Jim McLaughlin. Senior Citizens Day afternoon game Thursday. Tom Seaver pitching. The 1-1 pitch. And a curve, a strike on the outside corner. Although Gary Nolan was 12 and 15 last year, he felt he pitched as well, if not better, than the previous year when he was 18 and 7. The 1-2 delivery, way outside, 2-2. Gary Nolan is only 24 years old, and he already has 4.5 major league years behind him. He's the dean of the Cincinnati staff at the age of 24. The 2-2 delivery. Hit hard, but fouled on the left field line, back up into the crowd. Getting a sign from Johnny Bench. The 2-2 delivery is swung on and foul tipped. So Fregosi stays alive and the count is even at 2-2. First meeting of the year between the New York Mets and the Cincinnati Reds. The Mets have the assignment here this evening of trying to cool off the hottest team in baseball. The 2-2 delivery, curve, just missed. Gary Nolan thought he had it over. He came down off the mound. The impressive thing, too, about Cincinnati's 7-game winning streak, they've won all 7 games on the road. The last game they lost was the last game of their homestand. And a ground ball toward the hole. Backhanded by Concepcion. The long throw. Safe. A single to deep short by Jim Fregosi. Cincinnati inaugurated the win streak in the Astrodome. At the time they went into Houston, the Astros were a hot ball club. Well, they cooled them off. And they won 4 straight, scoring 39 runs in the 4 games. Tommy Agee batting .297. Fastball down the middle, strike 1 call. Gary Nolan first came up to the big leagues at the tender age of 18. Everything was a smoking fastball he could really fire. And the pitch on the way, outside and low. After a very good rookie year, he injured his arm. Eventually had to go back to the minor leagues and work his way back. He now is much more of a pitcher than a thrower. He mixes up an excellent curve with his fastball, and he has an outstanding changeup. Ground ball hits to third. Javier to second for 1. Morgan on to first, double play. 5-4-3, and the side is retired. Well, the Reds turn the DP behind Gary Nolan. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left. At the end of 1 inning, the Cincinnati Reds nothing, the New York Mets nothing.
What's new on the corner of Hoosick and Perry Streets in Johnstown? It's the Stuffed Shirt. That's right, I said the Stuffed Shirt. The finest restaurant this area has ever seen. If you're looking for a plush atmosphere and fine dining, it's the Stuffed Shirt. Open now, serving lunches from 11 a.m. till 2:30 p.m., dinners from 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. Listen to this, a special candlelight menu from 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. You probably tried them all, now try the best. It's the new Stuffed Shirt on the corner of Hoosick and Perry Streets in Johnstown.
We are a people going places, doing things on wheels. So, when you travel, know the rules of the road wherever you go. Remember, traffic laws apply to visitors as well as to residents. Motor vehicle administrators everywhere want you to drive like a pro. Those who know will drive like a pro.
Will be up to lead off against Jim McAndrew in the top half of the second. Johnny Bench has hit about 500 for the last 10 days and raised his overall batting average up to 296. Johnny Bench coming off of an incredible week. Raised his home run total to 13, and he has 35 runs batted in. And a slider outside, ball 1. McAndrew into his windup. Here's the pitch on the way. Breaking ball, low outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The annual Major League Free Agent Baseball Draft was held today in New York and continues tomorrow. The 2-0 delivery and a half swing, and it's over the corner for a call strike. The Mets were very pleased with the young man as they selected first in the free agent draft. The Mets' choice came around, and they went for a catcher. The 2-1 delivery, ground ball hammered down to third. Fregosi up with it. Straightens up, throws across, plenty of time, benches out. Now slugger Tony Perez comes up. Last year, Tony had 25 homers, 91 RBIs after a very slow first half of the year. For the second half of the year, he came on very strong. Perez hitting .282. 7 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Pitch by McAndrew. Just misses the corner, ball 1. The Mets' number 1 choice in the baseball draft today was an 18-year-old backstop out of Peoria, Illinois, by the name of Richard Bingston. Call strike on the outside corner of the knees. He's only 18 years old. He's 6'3", weighs 195. He's a right-hand hitter. Mets said they didn't dream that he would still be available when their 14th choice came around. They were delighted to get him. The 1-1 pitch. Popped in the air to short center. Back goes Garrett. One-hander. Wayne Garrett going into the outfield, reaching up and plucking it out of the air. 2 outs and nobody on. The right fielder, Joe Haig, coming on to bat. The Mets' second selection in the baseball draft was an outfielder out of San Diego, California, by the name of Craig Lee Skokman. Left-hand hitter, Joe Haig. McAndrew sighting in on his target. Here's the pitch on the way, and the breaking ball is over. Strike one call. The Mets' third choice was a pitcher, a right-hander named Craig Swan, out of Arizona State and Long Beach, California. And the pitch on the way, high, outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Their fourth choice was also a pitcher, a right-hander out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, a young man named Andrew Replogle. Fastball taken low, 2-1. These are names for the Major League fans to take and kind of file away. But it might very well be in 2 or 3 or 4 years you'll hear a lot more about them. Now the breaking pitch in the dirt, and the count is 3-1. Joe Haig hitting .239 on the year and .250 in a Cincinnati uniform. They play him around to right. The 3-1 delivery, swing and a miss. It's 3-2. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the second, no score. This weekend, the Houston Astros will be here in Shea Stadium for a 3-game set. Strike called on the outside corner, side retired. And McAndrew looking like $1 million. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of an inning and a half, the Reds nothing, the Mets nothing.
Probably the most important financial and personal decision you will make in your lifetime is the one to buy a home. It represents one of, if not the largest financial commitment a family can make. Doesn't it make sense then to use the aid of a professional? Florence Italy Realtor is a professional. She is a member of the National Association of Real Estate Boards. Florence Italy and her sales staff can help you buy the most home for your money and the one satisfying your needs. Call Florence Italy Realtor today at 762-8500. 762-8500.
Life is a mystery when you don't see things as they are. Clear it up with regular examinations by a vision specialist. That's good advice from the American Optometric Association.
Remember last week when you said next week you'd spend more time with your children? It's next week. A thought from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
We pause now for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
WIZR-FM Johnstown.
Murphy with Ralph Kiner and Lindsey Nelson. Rusty Staub steps in against Gary Nolan, last half of the second inning. The left-hand hitter waits, and Nolan's fastball rides outside all the way, 1 ball and no strikes. John Milner is on deck, and then Cleon Jones. The 1-0 delivery, and a drive in the air to center field. Nolan cutting over is there, and he makes the catch. He appeared to be battling the lights a little bit at the last moment. That was not a fly ball. It was a line drive to right center. Taken by Bobby Tolan. John Milner is batting at .294. The little hammer has 4 homers and 13 runs batted in. Left-hand hitter. And a change curve over the inside corner. Strike 1 call. Cleon Jones loosening up in the on-deck circle. Nolan's pitch on the way. Way outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Gary Nolan is a very rapid worker on the mound. Young right-hander working with 3 excellent pitches. The 1-1 pitch. Off-speed breaking ball out of the strike zone, 2-1. The outfield is deep and around to right. The pitch to the hammer. Low and outside, ball 3. 3-1 to John Milner. John Milner. That's outstanding rookie outfielder from Atlanta, Georgia. 3-1 pitch. Towering pop-up into short right field. Backpedaling Joe Morgan into shallow right, settling under it, and he has it. 2 outs and the base is clear. It's Cleon's turn at bat. Jones hitting at 272, 2 homers and 16 RBIs. Cleon has not been too happy with the way he's been hitting of late. But yet, he's still hitting 272. Cleon is the kind of hitter that can give you a batting average of well over 300. Cleon hasn't had his hot spell yet. He'll get one. Pitch by Gary Nolan. High inside, ball 1. Gary Nolan off to a great start this year. He's won 7, lost only 1. The 1-0 delivery to Cleon is high. He lets it go. 2 balls and no strikes. Wayne Garrett is the on-deck batter. The infield and the outfield straight away against Cleon Jones. The 2-0 delivery. Ground ball hammered toward the hole. Backhanded by Concepcion. The throw. Not in time. He will not get him. And Cleon is on with a base hit. Single to deep short for Cleon. Jim Fregosi hit one in the same spot in the first inning. Now Wayne Garrett. Nolan has been very tough for the Mets over the years. The 4.5 years he's been in the National League. Lifetime, he's won 11 and lost 2. Probably the most effective hitter the Mets have had against Gary Nolan over the last few years has been Wayne Garrett. Now the pitch on the way. Inside and low, it's ball 1. I remember on 2 occasions when Garrett homered off Gary Nolan. Tony Perez holds against the runner. Inside of the letters, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Jerry Grody standing in the on-deck circle. The 2-0 delivery and a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. Gary Nolan moving the ball around, working inside and then working away. Now up in pitching position, Gary Nolan. And a fastball off the outside corner. It's 3-1. The Reds have won 7 in a row, 19 of their last 24. The one time in the early going, they'd won 8 and lost 13. Had a throw to first, not in time. So they suddenly started putting it all together. And the Big Red Machine is now a half game out of first place in the West. Had a drive, well hit to right field. Rose in front of it. Haig in front of it makes the catch. And Garrett hit the ball hard. A real shot off Gary Nolan. But right to the right fielder, Joe Haig. Side retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of 2 innings, Cincinnati nothing, New York nothing.
When we say the Dodge boys think about you, it's not just a catchy slogan. It's smart business. You see, the Dodge boys are very practical kind of guys. They've been in the automobile and truck business for a long time. They know what it takes to please you, and they do it. When you talk, the Dodge boys listen. When you buy a car from the Dodge boys, they lock themselves into the sale to keep you satisfied. It's not just because they're a friendly bunch of good guys, but because they're smart businessmen. They want you to come back. And the best way to get you to come back for another Dodge is to make sure you like the first one. That's still the best form of consumer protection. A good, two-way relationship between you and the man you deal with. It's worked well for the Dodge Boys. Just ask your neighbor about them. Then come in and see the Dodge Boys yourself.
For the best deal on a new Dodge or Subaru, see Howland Pearson Dodge City, Main Street, Johnstown.
Third inning comes around here at Shea, and the Reds come up against Jim McAndrew. And coming up to paint the word picture for you, Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Bob Murphy, and hi, everyone. Julian Javier will lead off for Cincinnati Reds. Julian playing at third base. Batting .272 with 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Jim McAndrew on the mound for the Mets. He has pitched to 6, struck out 2. And he'll be facing Javier, Dave Concepcion, and Gary Nolan at the top of the third. First pitch is grounded foul off the end of the bat over to the first base side, strike 1. Rather cool here this evening. Light breeze blowing in from center field. The field, the grassed area, is just as pretty as they can get it. It is beautiful. 1 strike pitch. Broken bat, looper out towards center field will be a base hit. So Javier with a broken bat single has the first hit of the ball game for the Reds. They'll bring up the shortstop, Dave Concepcion. Dave batting at .228 with 1 home run, 18 runs batted in. Reds have got tons of RBI men. Morgan with 21, Tolan with 28, Bench with 35, Perez with 25, Haig with 18, Concepcion with 18. On the bench, McRae has 12, Menke has 9. Upon out to the mound, the play will have to go to first base. McAndrew fields it, throws to Jones, who makes the tag in front of the bag about 2 steps up. And it's a sacrifice moving Javier down to second for the pitcher, Gary Nolan. Nolan has been up 29 times with 2 hits. Sacrifice taking the Mets a little bit by surprise. They were not basically thinking sacrifice with the pitcher behind the 8th batter in the sacrifice position. Nolan is not really a give-up hitter. And McAndrew in the set position. In the first pitch to Nolan, slider just a little bit high, ball 1. Nolan, a right-hand batter. Pitch back is grounded slowly out to third, and they're going to let it roll, and it rolls foul. No play at all for Jim Fregosi, and the ball just did roll foul. Top ball, no chance to handle it, but the ball rolling off just at the last minute. So Nolan back to the batter's box, and Concepcion, who had bunted Javier over to second base, sees Javier stayed second on the foul ball. At the end of 5, Houston 4, Philadelphia nothing. Boy, the Phillies really having their trouble. They have lost 18 of 19. Next pitch, a curve. It's low and ball 2. In that ball game, Roberts started for Houston, hit a home run in the 4th with 1 on, his first home run of the year. Houston also having some trouble. They've lost 7 of 9 and dropped to third behind the Dodgers and Cincinnati. 2-1 delivery, swung on and missed, 2-2. The end of 1.5, Atlanta nothing, Montreal nothing. Reed against McAnally. Pittsburgh scheduled against San Diego, Chicago at Los Angeles, St. Louis at San Francisco. No score here, and the pitch back is low again. Ball taken just off the top of the dirt by Jerry Grody. That puts it down at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The on-deck batter, Pete Rose. Now McAndrew with a full count pitch. Swung on and missed, and he went to the fastball to strike him out. So 2 men away. McAndrew's third strikeout. It brings up Pete Rose, who struck out his first time up. Rose was caught looking at a 2-2 fastball his first time up. He brought an average of 258 in this ball game. He's had 50 hits in his first 45 ball games. No home runs, 12 runs batted in. Rose a switch hitter, a left-hand batter against McAndrew. And the pitch to Rose. Taken just low, and it's ball one. McAndrew lifetime against the Reds has 1-1, lost 2, and he has a record this year 4 wins and 1 loss. One ball, no strikes. Javier on at second base. Pitch back to Rose, hit off the hands, foul. 1-1 the count. End of 1/2 inning. The Yankees did not score in the top half of the first. Now Texas coming up. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 men out, top of the third, no score. The Reds with a runner in scoring position. Javier at second base. The next pitch to Rose. It is taken outside, just around the knees. 2 balls, 1 strike. Last year hit .304 with 192 base hits. Now McAndrew with a 2-1 pitch, and it's hit out to left. Coming to the ball is Milner, and he catches the ball at the warning track to retire on the side. Milner broke in the first step and then had to trace his way back to the warning track to haul in the fly ball by Rose. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the man left at second in the score. At the end of 2.5 innings, the Reds nothing, the Mets nothing.
Now that snow time is finally over, chances are you can see where a lot of work is needed on your lawn and garden. And Agway has all the items you'll need to get things back into shape. Choose from a full assortment of rakes, including bow, steel, bamboo, and wood, for all of those twigs, dead leaves, and other debris. Then empty the piles into Agway's poly trash bags to smooth the lumps and bumps. Agway has that lawn roller to suit your needs. Then put some nourishment into your lawn with Turf Food Special at $3.25 for 50 pounds. Covers 5,000 square feet. Use Agway's Model B spreader to spread seed, chemicals, fertilizer, as well as other materials. While you're at Agway, look at all the other lawn and garden items too, including Agway's rotary tillers. And don't forget ground lime to correct soil acidity. Visit Agway today on the Johnstown Arterial. Remember, Agway has the famous Hot Point appliances and quality service.
We're going to the bottom of the third. A scoreless ball game. The Mets have had 2 infield hits, and the Reds have had 1 base hit, a blooper to center field. And the first batter for the Mets will be Jerry Grody. Jerry batting for the first time is hitting .246. Gary Nolan hooked up with Jim McAndrew here in the first game of this 3-game series. Tomorrow night it's going to be Gary Gentry in the mound. Game time will be at 8:05. We'll be on the air at 8 o'clock. And Jim McLaughlin will be opposing him, Gentry. And Jim McLaughlin on Thursday afternoon, game time 2:05. Tom Seaver 8-2 against Ross Grimsley, 2-1. Grimsley throwing in the bullpen right now. First pitch to Grody is called a strike 1. And the right-hander back. Big rolling curveball. It's in for a called strike 2. Nolan throws a very big, slow rolling curve along with a fastball and a slider. Also has a very good changeup. He used to be blazing fast, does not throw that hard anymore. And the 2-strike pitch. Curveball. Grody started the swing, held up in time, 1-2. Nolan, with fine control on the mound, came up that way, as a matter of fact, as a 17-year-old pitcher. 1-2 pitch. Rounded slowly out to third. Charging is Javier, and he boots the ball. Javier trying to make a fast play. Hit the ball with his glove hand, then his bare hand, and it got away, and we'll see how it scores. An error charged against Javier in a very difficult chance. That'll bring up Jim McAndrew in a bunting situation. That's the first error of the ball game. McAndrew has been up 11 times this year without a base hit. Little top ball and a real tough chance. And the first pitch is bunted in the air, charging from first base and making the dive for the ball is Ferris. He taps it in fair territory, and it rolls out in front of Johnny Bench. He picks it up, fires it to the shortstop, covering at second for the force play there, and Grody had to run as hard as he could. And he was out at second base. McAndrew was safe at first. Ball was popped up in the air and in fair territory. Perez, charging from first base, got to it with a dive, and it was in his glove, but popped out, and it was in fair territory. When he touched it, it was picked up by Bench and fired on down to second, where Grody had to hold to see whether or not the ball was going to be caught or not. He was easy out there. McAndrew hustling as hard as he could, beat the play at first. That will bring up Bud Harrelson. Bud bounced back to the pitcher's first time up. He squares out his loaded bunt and takes the ball. Harrelson batting .227. Pitch back to him. Hit in the air to shallow right. Coming over is Joe Haig. He has an easy play. McAndrew going back to the bag as Haig makes the catch. That'll bring up Jim Fregosi. Jim had an infield hit his first time up. No score. 2 men away, bottom of the third. Detroit having a field day against California pitching at the end of 7. They lead by a score of 8-2. Make it now 8-3. Brinkman, Costco, Rodriguez, and Stanton have hit home runs. For Stanton is 7. Curveball to Fregosi is high. It's ball 1. Don Rose started for the Angels, a former Met. Mickey Lolich going for win number 9. He's lost 3. Pitch back, a fastball. It's too low. 2 balls, no strikes. Gary Nolan did not like that call by Bruce Bromey. Gaylord Perry has won 9. Become the first 9-game winner in the major leagues. 2 balls, no strikes. Hard ground ball, this time in front of the shortstop Concepcion as he played in the hole. And he fielded the ball through over to second base for the force play on Jim McAndrew to retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left, and the score at the end of 3. The Reds nothing, the New York Mets nothing.
Put some extra taste in your lunches with lunch meats from Walt's Walk-In at 112 East State Street in Johnstown. Walt's lunch meats aren't pre-cut. They're sliced while you wait. This means extra flavor. Compare Walt's prices with those in chain stores. You'll find that his prices are 5 to 20 cents per pound less. Walt's also carries only the best brands, such as Boar's Head, Hansel and Gretel, First Prize, and Martinic. Walt also has a complete line of beverages, baked goods, and groceries. Open 9 a.m. to 11 every day of the year. You stop soon at Walt's Walk-In at 112 East State Street, Johnstown.
I'm O.C. Smith. For 25 years, the United States Department of Agriculture has made some food and cash available to schools for lunch programs. But today, only half the children of America are actually getting a school lunch. Make sure that your child eats a good lunch every school day. For more information, write School Lunch, Washington, D.C., 20250.
This public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture in cooperation with this radio station.
It's the top of the 4th inning. The score is tie, and Jim McAndrew getting set to work here to Joe Morgan, Bobby Dolan, and Johnny Bench. Second, third, and fourth batters of the Cincinnati Reds. Mets have had 2 hits. They were both infield hits, one by Jim Fregosi, the other by Cleon Jones. The Reds, through the first 3 innings, had 1 base hit, a fluke single to center field by Julian Javier. Joe Morgan, a left-hand batter, hitting .274 to the plate. He has 7 home runs, 21 runs batted in, and 45 base hits. Morgan hit his first pitch his first time up and flat out to right field. And McAndrew's first delivery is called a strike this time as Morgan takes. And the pitch back by McAndrew. Pitch just low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Next delivery is ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Joe Morgan, who did all of his Major League second base playing with the Astros until this year, and he squares out as though to beat out a bunt, but takes high and away ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. He's done quite a job for the Reds. He has 19 stolen bases. 7 home runs, batting .274. 3-1 pitch, and it's called a strike, and the count goes full 3-2. Right here, big man to get. They work toward Johnny Bench and Tony Perez. And Bobby Tolan on deck. Next pitch, a fastball fouled off. Count stays at 3-2. Well, a very happy 28th birthday today to Darrell McKinley Harrelson, who's everybody's buddy. As it says on the message board, Mr. Shortstop at the Big Shea. He was born on D-Day, the longest day. 3-2 pitch. Call, strike 3, and Morgan is struck out. Andrew coming up with his 4th strikeout. And a good one, and it brings up Bobby Tolan. Tolan popped up to short his first time up. Tolan batting .310 after laying out all of last year. Left-hand batter, originally acquired from St. Louis Cardinals by Cincinnati Reds. He was traded for Vada Pinson. First pitch to Tolan, he bunts out and fouls the ball. Strike 1. Fregosi charging quickly from third, had the play covered there. Tolan was trying to push that ball that way rather than drag it toward second. No score, 1 man out. We're in the top of the 4th. Andrew, 28 years of age. And the pitch. High and outside, 1-1. The field condition here is beautiful, but not to the liking of the hitters. The infield, due to the sunshine and the rains, very, very slow, very tall grass. Next pitch back is a hard slider inside, 2-1. Outfield is also slow. Pretty hard to drive the ball through on the ground on the infield. Similar condition used to exist at Cincinnati when they played on grass. And a pitch high in ball 3. 3-1 with Bench on deck. Of course, the Reds play an artificial turf, and it's like cement. Very, very fast. 3-1 delivery to Dolan. He fouls it back. A fastball about letter high, and that fills the count to 3-2. Jim McAndrew, who now lives in St. Petersburg, Florida. 3-2 pitch is again fouled off, this time down into the lower stands on the third base side. Once again, the 3-2 try. And Tolan pops it up in foul territory. It's over in front of the Cincinnati Reds dugout and goes out of play. for the second time, the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes, fouled off. Andrew with a new ball in play. Tolan has 54 base hits this year. He has very, very good speed. Also very good power. 3-2 pitch. Hit hard, and Jones cannot handle it as it goes by his glove side in the right field for a base hit. Pulled back to first base by Rusty Staub, and Tolan has to hustle back as McAndrew takes the throw on the bag. So a base hit for Bobby Tolan. Brings up Johnny Bench. Bench grounded out to third his first time up. Bench batting .294. He has 13 home runs, second to Kingman's 14 in the National League. 35 RBIs. That is also second to Kingman. Tolan with a good-sized lead at first. He can run. He's got 15 stolen bases. Andrew's first pitch. And it's a fastball outside. Just about letter high, ball 1. It has been a hot bench for the Cincinnati Reds here in the last few ball games. Throw to first base, Tolan back easily. Reds have won 7 straight, and 19 of their last 24. And in that 7 straight, Bench was the big hitter. 1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch. Slider over, and it's a called strike. 1-1 the count. Pitch right over the outside part of the plate. No score, 1 away, top of the 4th inning. Cincinnati with Tolan on first base. 1-1 count to Bench. Next delivery with Tolan running. It swung on and missed, and now Tolan hung up between first and second. The throw to Jones is dropped. He picks it up, throws over to second base where it's taken by Garrett, and Tolan beats the tag. So Tolan trapped halfway between first. Throw going down to second base. The throw back to Jones was dropped, and an error charge against Cleon Jones. And Tolan getting down to second base on the air. So instead of no one on and 2 men away, it's a runner in scoring position. And they count at 1 ball and 2 strikes on Bench. Boy, at second base was debated hotly by Wayne Garrett. Call made by Paul Pryor. Garrett thought he had the runner. There's a drive to left, and it's gone. Goodbye. Bench with his 14th home run of the year. And the Reds lead by a score 2-0. Johnny Bench with his 8th home run in his last 7 ball games. He is now tied for the league lead with Kingman with 14, and it brings up Tony Perez. Bench hitting a slider that was out over the plate, and it was gone. First pitch to Perez is high for a ball. Pitch back is taken low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. And now Perez asking for time. He wants the pine tar rag. Perez back in the batter's box. Time is in. It's 2-0 to the big right-hand batter. Hitting at .280 for the year. He has 7 home runs. And a slider over the outside corner called strike 2-1. Next pitch is fouled back into the stand. Fastball fouled away, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The whole run by French was in 8 and 7 games.
2 balls, 2 strikes. McAndrew up, and the pitch coming back to Perez is just low. Breaking ball. So the count fills out 3-2. The on-deck batter, Joe Haig. And the next pitch. Fouled off. Again, the fastball fouled away. Now remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Once again, the 3-2 pitch. It's hit hard down to third, taken on the first out by Fregosi. He throws to first base. 2 men away. That'll bring up Joe Haig. He was called out on strikes his first time up. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
WIZR FM Johnstown.
Ralph Kiner along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson, and Reds leading 2-0 with 2 men out here in the top of the 4th. The first pitch to Joe Haig is low and inside, ball 1. Haig batting .236, traded for Bernie Carbo. Just a couple of weeks ago, he has a hard swing at a fastball. It's 1-1. At 1-1, the pitch back to Haig. Low and inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Haig has 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in. He's hit well since coming over to the Cincinnati Reds from the Cardinals. And again, a pitch in the dirt. 3-1 the count to Joe Haig, the on-deck batter, Julian Javier. Of 2.5, Atlanta 3, Montreal nothing. 3-1 pitch, ball 4, and McAndrew has walked his first man. That'll bring up Julian Javier, who blooped a single to center field his first time up. In that Atlanta ball game, the Braves got 3 runs in the third on a 2-run home run by Darrell Evans, his 9th home run of the year. Came off McAnally, who has a record of 1-5. Reed pitching for the Braves. He's won 3 and lost 6. Javier hitting .289, a right-hand batter, in the first pitch. Hit down to the shortstop, Bud Harrelson. He bobbles it momentarily, then finds it right by his letters. Off the chest and throws to force Haig at second base for the out that retires the side. In the inning, 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on. And the score at the end of 3.5 innings, the Cincinnati Reds 2, New York Mets nothing. Well, a big day coming up on that Saturday, June 24th. Regular game with the St. Louis Cardinals. The Mets will salute the players who contributed to the first 10 years of Met history. Met old-timers will be managed by Casey Stengel, who started off as their first manager back in 1962. Some of the original Mets expected: Marv Throneberry, Felix Mantilla, Jay Hook, Rod Cannell, Joe Christopher, Al Jackson, Jack Fisher, Larry Bernard, Ned Charles, Al Weiss, Don Cardwell, Roger Craig, Frank Thomas. Some of the visiting stars on the invitation list: Hank Bauer, Don Larson, Don Drysdale, Whitey Ford, Stan Musial, Ernie Banks, Joe DiMaggio, Ken Boyer, Jack Sanford. It's always been a very special day here at Shea. Over the last 6 years, they've averaged 47,000 people, so there are seats available, but a big crowd, so get your seats ahead of time and make sure you're here for Old Timers Day, Saturday, June 24th, just prior to the regular game with the St. Louis Cardinals. Well, the Mets trailing as a result of the two-run home run by Johnny Bench. They'll be sending Tommy Agee, Rusty Staub, and John Milner to the plate against Gary Nolan. Nolan has given up 2 hits. He has walked none, struck out none. Tommy Agee hit into a double play his first time up after a base hit by Jim Fregosi. Tommy hitting .295, and the right-hander's first pitch. Slow curveball in the dirt is ball 1. Tommy with 5 home runs, 22 RBIs. Being played straight away by the Reds. Pitch back, rounded out to third, and handled there by Javier. This sort of first base is in time for the out. That'll bring up Rusty Staub. Rusty lined to center his first time up. Batting .315, he has 8 home runs, 29 RBIs. Rusty leads the club in base hits with 53, home runs with 8, and RBIs at 29. And he grounds the first pitch out toward second base. It's cut off by the first baseman, Perez. He throws over to Nolan covering, and a quick 2 outs. Brings up John Milner. John popped up high in the air to shallow right. The ball caught by the second baseman, Joe Morgan, his first time up. Milner hitting .290, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. At the end of 2, it's the Yankees 1, the Rangers 1. Fritz Peterson pitching for the Yankees. He's 3-7, and Dick Bosman going for Texas. He's 3-5. Vida Blue on the mound for Oakland. He trails 2-1 after 5.5. First pitch a curve looked at, strike 1. Blue is 0-2. Vince Colbert pitching for Cleveland. He's 0-3. Next pitch to Milner, just inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The end of 5, it's Baltimore 3, Minnesota 1. Jim Cott against Jim Palmer. Both have won 6. Cott has lost 1, Palmer lost 3. Next pitch is in the dirt. It bounces by the catcher, Johnny Bench, 2-1. The end of 8. California getting back in their ball game with Detroit. It's now 8-6 in favor of Detroit after 8 innings of play. Next pitch is gone. Forget it. Goodbye. And it is really gone. Shot halfway up the scoreboard, and the Mets are on the board. Tremendous home run by John Milner, his 5th home run of the year. And now it brings up Cleon Jones. Cleon with an infield hit his first time up. He's batting .277. Boy, I'd like to chop that one up into singles. Could lead the league. The first pitch is ball 1. That ball hit halfway up the scoreboard. One of the longest drives ever hit here at Shea Stadium, the right field. Our pitch back for a call strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Can't throw a ball much further than that. It's a long one. Pitch back is low and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. And the 2-1 pitch to Jones is grounded slowly out towards short. Charging is Concepcion. He fields the ball, throws the first baseman. This side is retired. 1 run on the home run by John Miller. No errors and no one left on. And the score at the end of 4, the Reds 2, the Mets 1.
I'm Claire Leachman, sometime actress, speaking about blindness, thinking about blindness. I'm suddenly blind for this few moments. I've closed my eyes. I've shut out any light with my hands. And I'm struggling to contend with it. Am I suddenly gifted with musical genius because I'm blind? No. Am I hard of hearing? Hardly. I'm thinking about these things because I've had occasion, sometimes an actress, to think about it, and now this day for the American Foundation for the Blind. But it's something for us all to think about. If you want to find out more about it, you can write to FACTS, F-A-C-T-S, FACTS, Box 111, New York, 10011.
Still buzzing here at Shea over the tremendous home run hit by John Milner. For Milner, his 5th home run of the year. On the downward flight, that ball hit well above the advertising into the black on the scoreboard. Dave Concepcion, the shortstop, faces Jim McAndrew, top of the 5th inning. Concepcion sacrificed his first turn at bat. Before the season, it was figured that Concepcion and Woody Woodward would share the shortstop duties. But Woody Woodward, surprisingly, went into retirement. And Dave Concepcion has been doing well. Swing and a miss, strike one. Getting his sign from Grody. And the pitch on the way. It is taken low, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 delivery. And the breaking ball outside and low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Cincinnati, 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. New York, 1, 3, and 1. Johnny Bench, a 2-run homer. John Milner with the bases empty. And a towering infield pop-up. Buddy Harrelson and Wayne Garrett go back in shallow center. Garrett makes the catch. 1 man away, it brings up the Cincinnati hurler, Gary Nolan. Gary was struck out by Jim McAndrew in the 3rd. He has 2 hits and 30 times at bat this year. Tomorrow night, game 2 of the series. Gary Gentry pitches against Jim McLaughlin. And on Thursday afternoon, it'll be Tom Seaver opposed by young Ross Grimsley. Now the pitch on the way gets the outside corner for a call strike. Talking with Yogi before the game tonight and asking about Willie Mays, Willie was working out. He said he could use him to pinch it if he had to. Outside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Willie has a swollen finger on his right hand. He jammed the finger, sliding into a base of that 14-inning battle in Chicago recently. The 1-1 delivery, and a line drive taken by Garrett. Nice play. He throws on to first just to nail it down. I thought he had it in the air. We'll wait for the official scoring on it. He had him out both ways. It doesn't make any difference. But Garrett, just to be sure that the second base umpire, Paul Pryor, didn't think the ball had been trapped, threw it on to first base. From here, it appeared that he caught the ball on the fly. So 2 outs and nobody on. Top of the batting order for Pete Rose, the leadoff hitter. After 9 years in the National League, Rose with a lifetime batting average of .309. The last 7 years, he's hit over 300. Foul ball hit behind the third base dugout, back into the crowd. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the 5th inning. Reds lead 2-1. One of the 2 runs by Cincinnati will be classified unearned. Bobby Tolan, who got on with a base hit, was allowed to stay alive as the result of an error when they had him hung up between first and second. Now the pitch inside to Pete Rose, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 delivery. And a fastball high, 2 balls, 1 strike. pitch on the way. Out of the strike zone, ball 3-1. We have our first final score. The Detroit Tigers held on to beat California 8-6. In the first game of a doubleheader, the Tigers of Billy Martin are playing good baseball. 3-1 pitch. And a strike on the outside corner. Mickey Lolich got the win in an 8-6 ball game, his 9th win. He came out in the 8th inning for Chuck Seelbach. The 3-2 is high, ball 4. Second walk by McAndrew. He walks Pete Rose on 3-2, and it brings up Joe Morgan. 5 home runs in that Detroit Tiger California Angel game. Ed Brinkman, Andy Costco, Aurelio Rodriguez, Leroy Stanton, his 7th of the year, and Bob Oliver. Now let's keep an eye on Pete Rose and see if Sparky Anderson has him moving. Tolan the batter. The pitch by McAndrew. He bluffed it a bunt. The pitch is over. Strike one call. Cincinnati has a lot of speed. They traded this past winter to improve their overall team speed. In swapping Tommy Helms for Joe Morgan, they picked up speed. With Bobby Tolan back in action, they have a lot of speed. Pete Rose, who runs well, edging off first. Jim Fregosi in close at third against Bobby Tolan. You can't play back against him. High, outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. So in a doubleheader at Detroit, the Tigers have beaten the Angels 8-6 in the first game. Mickey Lolich won his 9th game. Ex-Met farmhand Don Rose, the loser. The 1-1 delivery. On the outside corner, a strike. It's 1-2. The Yankees and the Rangers tied 1-1 at the end of 2. Fritz Peterson takes pitching against Dick Bosman. Cleveland leading Vida Blue and Oakland 2-1. They're in the last of the 7th. Now the pitch on the way outside, 2-2. Baltimore with Jim Palmer hurling, leading Minnesota 3-1 after 5.5. Kansas City led Milwaukee 1-0 after 2, but Rick Auerbach has homered in the 3rd, bases empty, tying up the ballgame. Boston at Chicago, Sonny Siebert against Wilbur Wood. Wood will be going for his 9th. Pitching 2-2 and a towering fly ball into shallow right field. Staub coming over. Garrett goes over into foul territory and makes the catch. One-handed by Garrett across the line in foul territory. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on. So we've come halfway. At the end of 4.5, the Reds 2, the Mets 1. Now here's a word from Ryan.
One good thing about professional ball players, you can count on every man giving his best, and then something extra. Pro baseball players call this second effort. Time after time, a real professional makes a second effort. That's why his team wins ball games. When you buy insurance, you should look for the same kind of second effort. Get your insurance from a professional independent agent. And if you want a pro you can count on to give you his best, turn to Fields & Baxter when you buy insurance for your automobile, your home, or your business. Fields & Baxter Agency, Incorporated, at 14 North Market Street in Johnstown, are professional independent agents. If you buy insurance through them, and you ever have a claim, you'll really appreciate the second effort they put forth to make sure that you get fast, fair payment. So for the best kind of insurance, see a pro. See Fields & Baxter Agency, Incorporated, located at 14 North Market Street in Johnstown. They're professionals at Fields & Baxter, bringing you New York Mets baseball.
Last of the 5th inning, bottom third of the order, hits against Gary Nolan. Wayne Garrett will lead off. Wayne hit the ball hard his first time up, a line drive to the right fielder, Joe Haig. Cincinnati, 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error. New York, 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error. Wayne Garrett, Jerry Grody, and Jim McAndrew take a turn at bat in the bottom half of the 5th inning. We have a lively crowd tonight at Shea. 5th annual fraternal night. 10,000 Knights of Columbus and Masons are on hand. And a a breaking ball outside ball one. Gary Nolan mixes up his fastball, a good curve, and an excellent changeup. The 1-0 delivery, way inside. That made him wiggle. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes on Wayne Garrett. Wayne, a pull hitter, Reds play him around to right in the outfield. And a high foul fly deep to right field, far back into the crowd. The ball hitting against the wall. But it was foul all the way. Garrett got too far in front, and the count is 2-1. The 2-1 delivery. Low and inside, 3-1 to Wayne Garrett. Mets trail by a run last half of the 5th inning. Mets trying to cool off a red-hot Cincinnati machine. Ball for Garrett, reaches with a walk, leading off the last of the 5th. First walk by Gary Nolan. And now Jerry Grody. Grody batting .243. Jerry has 3 homers, 15 runs batted in. Jerry Grody and Dubby Dyer have combined to give the Mets 5 home runs and 21 RBIs behind the plate. Tony Perez will hold against the runner, Wayne Garrett. And the breaking ball is high, ball 1. We're going to get warm-up action in the Cincinnati bullpen. Gary Nolan has been bothered by a very raw right foot that he keeps opening up and irritating by scraping against the pitching slab. There goes the runner, hit and run, swing and a miss, throw by Bench to slide, safe. Garrett stole second. Bench rifled the ball to second base. Throw was a little bit high. So a stolen base for Wayne Garrett. Bench has, by far and away, the most powerful throwing arm of any catcher in the National League. From a standpoint of getting velocity on the ball. Don Gullett, young left-hander, gets up in the bullpen. The 1-1 pitch to Grody, swing and a miss and a curveball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gary Nolan limps noticeably when he's running or jogging. As we mentioned, his right foot has been rubbed raw against that pitching slab. He's been having trouble every time he pitches. He reopens it. The 1-2 delivery, way outside, 2-2. This can't be bothering him too much the way he has been pitching. Nolan 7-1 on the year. The infield is tried to left against Jerry Grody. Tying run, Wayne Garrett on second, nobody out, bottom half of the 5th. Nolan delivers 2-2. Curve outside, 3-2. The Mets were playing hit and run when Wayne Garrett stole second. Grody tried to get contact but didn't do it. And Garrett slid in safely. Now it's 3-2 on Grody. Here's the pitch on the way. And a looping fly ball into short right. Under the ball is Hay. And he makes the catch. Garrett will hold at second base. Ball carried far enough into the outfield to be a fairly easy play for the right fielder, Joe Higg. 1 man away, Jim McAndrew hoping to help himself out. Mac has not had a base hit so far this year. Hitless and 12 times at bat. While the Mets were losing the final game of the Atlanta series, the Pirates were winning a doubleheader in San Francisco. And the Pirates moved within 3.5 games of New York. The Pirates were scheduled last night, but were rained out in San Diego, which is very unusual. They will make up the rainout by playing 2 tomorrow evening. The pitch to Jim McAndrew, a fastball over for a call strike. Bud Harrelson is on deck. In the series, the Reds are leading with their ace. Now the pitch by Gary Nolan, curve, misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. He spins that big curveball. McAndrew reaches pitched in a force play trying to sacrifice in the third. Fastball, call strike, 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jim McAndrew. The Mets have the tying run on second base, 1 out. Bobby Tolan playing a rather shallow right center against Jim McAndrew. Pitching 1-2. Got a piece of it, a foul ball in the dirt, coming straight back. Years ago, the Reds won in the West. It's tough to repeat in the National League. The Reds found that out last year, as the Mets did in 1970. Pitching 1-2. And a curve, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jim McAndrew. Gary Nolan alternating his curve and fastball in this series so far to Jim McAndrew. If he continues the pattern, he should come up with the fastball now. It's 2-2. Here's the pitch. Fastball. And a drive looped into short right center, a base hit. Garrett will have to hold at second base. McAndrew is on with a base hit to right center. Garrett thought the ball was going to be caught. He was only about a third of the way off the bag going toward third. Tolan got the ball in the hop, and Garrett knew if he tried to run then that it would be too late. He should have been further away. So Wayne Garrett did not get enough lead and has to hold at second base on a base hit. So McAndrew, with a runner on second, singles. The runner is still on second. Wayne Garrett might have gone for the decoy by Bobby Tolan, which prevented him from getting far enough off to make it over to third base. Now Bud Harrelson is the batter. Runners on first and second, 1 out. And a fastball high. 1 ball, no strikes. The base hit for McAndrew, the 4th hit of the game for the Mets. Now the pitch to Buddy. Lined in the air to left field, waiting under his feet. Rose, and he has it. Rose had perfect defensive position. He did not have to move out of his tracks to catch the line drive. Fregosi stepping in with 2 outs and 2 on. Fregosi, a ground single to deep short in the first inning, hit into a force play in the third. After he got the base hit to deep short in the first, when he batted in the third inning, Dave Concepcion, the shortstop, pulled over toward the hole, and the grounder was hit right at him. Curve is high. 1 ball and no strikes. That's trailed by a run in the home 5th inning. Tommy Agee times his swings in the on-deck circle. The 1-0 delivery, high, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Now Fregosi will be digging in, looking for something he can really level at. The stretch by Gary Nolan. Around comes the arm, and a high fly ball hit the left center. It's deep, but it's playable. Bobby Tolan is entered on the edge of the warning track, and he has it. Fregosi made a strong bid. Bobby Tolan went back to the warning track in front of the 396 mark. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 were left on. At the end of 5 innings, the Cincinnati Reds 2 and the New York Mets 1.
To make sure you get quality control fuel oil, call your Robin dealer, Shepherd Oil Company. The Robin sign at Shepherd Oil is your assurance of uniform top quality heating oil. How often is it checked? At least 21 times. These checks maintain consistent quality from well to the refinery to the tanker or pipeline and to Shepherd Oil Company. These rigid tests assure top quality heating value for every penny you spend for heating oil. Remember, this kind of thorough quality control is automatically yours from your Robin Oil dealer, Shepherd Oil of Johnstown. Call 762-7812. That's Shepherd Oil Company. And get all the details about Shepherd's balanced payment plan. Any Shepherd Oil customer can tell you that the Shepherd Oil plan takes the worry out of winter heating bills. Now you can have all the heat you want when you want it, and convenient monthly payments too. You can't go wrong. This is just one of the many services at Shepherd Oil Company, your Robin Oil dealer in Johnstown. Phone 762-7812. That's Shepherd Oil Company of Johnstown.
We pause now for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
WIZR FM Johnstown.
Don Gullett continues to throw in the Cincinnati bullpen. Gary Nolan limping very noticeably when he went to the dugout after getting the side out. His instep on his right foot is quite raw. And pushing off that pitching slab, he continues to irritate it. Whether he'll be able to stay much longer remains to be seen. The heart of the batting order faces Jim McAndrew in the 6th inning. Bobby Tolan reached on a ground single in the 4th inning. Then he was running on a hit-and-run play that failed to gel. Grody fired to second. They had him in a rundown play, but he escaped, and an error was charged to Cleon Jones. Bobby Tolan, 1 for 2, left-hand hitter. And a line drive into right, a solid base hit for Bobby Tolan. Rusty Staub up with it, plays it back in. And Johnny Bench is coming up. Bobby Tolan's second hit of the ball game. Now here is a red-hot Johnny Bench. Hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. His 14th home run of the year. His 8th home run in the last 7 ball games. And Jim McAndrew will have to be mighty cautious in this spot. Bobby Tolan takes the lead off first. The pitch is low and outside, taken out of the dirt by Jerry Grody. Bobby Tolan has such great speed, and he'll bluff as though he's running on practically every pitch. He can upset a pitcher. Jolt the concentration of a pitcher, and now McAndrew fires to first base. Many times if a pitcher worries too much about the runner on first, he loses his concentration to the batter and either makes a bad pitch to him or winds up walking the batter. Again, McAndrew throws over to first. In a spot like this, you need all the concentration you can get on the hitter. It is low, 2 balls and no strikes to Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench is now hitting .299. 14 homers, that ties him with Dave Kingman. 37 RBIs, 1 behind Kingman for the lead. Fouled upstairs, no play, 2-1. The Giants' Dave Kingman started the evening leading the majors in homers and RBIs. Bench has pulled even in home runs. He's 1 behind him in the ribbies. 2-1 on Johnny Bench. McAndrew delivers, swing and a miss. Good hard slider by Jim McAndrew. And the count is 2-2. Tony Perez waiting on deck, and then Joe Haig. Mets with the infield deep, hoping to get a ground ball to work with to try for 2. Now throw over to Cleon. Tommy Agee set up deep and a few strides toward the alley in left center. When Bench homered, he hit it right over the wall at the 371 mark in left center. The 2-2 pitch, and a half swing ground ball to shortstop. Harrelson flips the ball to Garrett on to first, double play. McAndrew made a good pitch. He fooled Johnny Bench, who was trying to hold up on his swing, and rolled into a double play. 2 outs and nobody on. Now the hitter is Tony Perez. He has popped to second, grounded out to third, nothing for 2. Perez off to a much better start this year than last, hitting at .278. Outside and low, ball 1. He had a woeful first half last season after a huge year the previous season. But the second half of last year, he came on great. Now the 1-0 delivery. Outside and low, 2 balls and no strikes. The Reds 2 and the Mets 1 were in the top of the 6th inning. The 2-0 pitch to Tony Perez, outside and low, ball 3. Right fielder Joe Haig, who bats left-handed, is the on-deck hitter. Rio delivery, a swing and a miss. He was going for the distance. Sparky Anderson telling Tony Perez to crank it up on 3-0, and he did. Now it's 3-1. Pitching 3-1. Ball 4, outside and low. Third walk by McAndrew. Now Joe Haig. McAndrew was in one of those positions where he felt he should try and pitch around Tony Perez. Although Haig is a good hitter, he does not have the power of a Tony Perez. Haig has been called out and reached on a walk, nothing for one. Left-hand batter hitting 236. And the pitch is under the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, the Phillies, bless their hearts, they tried. They got 3 in the last of the 9th inning. They fell 1 run short. The Astros beat the Phillies 4-3. And a drive into right, a base hit by Joe Haig. Tony Perez around second is headed for third, and now there'll be no throw by Rusty Staub. Instead, he throws into first base. Runners on first and third, Julian Javier will be hitting. So the Phillies have now lost 9 straight and 19 of their last 20 ball games. They won 1 game out of the last 20, and that was a game in Pittsburgh. Tonight it was Houston 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Philadelphia 3-6-1. Joe Haig is coming out of the ball game, and we're going to get a pinch runner. Cesar Geronimo is coming in as a pinch runner. Geronimo came from the Houston Astros in the big trade Houston and Cincinnati made last winter. Geronimo has been in 32 ball games this year, batting at 196. In the Houston victory, the winner was Dave Roberts. He's 4-3. The loser, Woody Fryman. Dave Roberts won his own ball game with a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. Now the pitch on the way, a swing and a miss by Julian Javier. Atlanta 3, Montreal 2 after 5.5 innings. Buzz Capra gets up in the bullpen for the New York Mets. McAndrew checks the runners at first and third. The pitch to Javier, swing and a miss. He went after the fork ball, and the count is strike 2. Tony Perez on third. Cesar Geronimo, the pinch runner, is on first. McAndrew trying to hold the line right here. The Reds lead by 1 run, 2-1. Now with a 2-strike advantage, McAndrew makes the stop. And the pitch on the way outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Right-hand batter waiting, curve in the dirt, handled by Grody, and that evens the count at 2-2. Reds have a potent batting attack. Unusually potent right now because of the way Johnny Bench is hitting. He is red hot. Bench, a good hitter, is in a hot streak, and that's quite a combination. The 2-2 pitch, popped up. Should retire the side. Bragosi calling for it in fair territory, and he hasn't. So McAndrew makes a good pitch to get Javier, and the side is out. No runs. There were 2 hits. No errors. 2 were left on. At the end of 5.5 innings, the Cincinnati Reds 2 and the New York Mets 1.
What's new on the corner of Hoosick and Perry Streets in Johnstown? It's the Stuffed Shirt.
That's right, I said the Stuffed Shirt. The finest restaurant this area has ever seen. If you're looking for a plush atmosphere and fine dining, it's the Stuffed Shirt. Open now, serving lunches from 11 a.m. till 2:30 p.m., dinners from 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. Listen to this, a special candlelight menu from 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. You probably tried them all. Now try the best. It's the new Stuffed Shirt on the corner of Hoosick and Perry Streets in Johnstown.
We are a people going places, doing things on wheels. So, when you travel, know the rules of the road wherever you go. Remember, traffic laws apply to visitors as well as to residents. Motor vehicle administrators everywhere want you to drive like a pro. Those who know will drive like a pro.
Gary Nolan leaves the ballgame. As we mentioned earlier, Gary has been pitching on a very sore right instep that he continues to aggravate by pushing off the pitching slab. It had become quite painful to him. He was limping noticeably. And so now Nolan leaves the game, and fireballer Don Gullett comes in. Boy, this is one young pitcher leaving the game, a good one, and another real good young pitcher coming in. Geronimo will stay in the ball game. He is in right field. The paid crowd tonight is 29,353. We have a total crowd of 30,290. Last year, Don Gullett won 16 and lost only 6. He got away to a very slow start this year. He was having trouble with his stamina. He seemed to tire very early in the ballgame. The Reds had him completely examined, and it was discovered that he was suffering from hepatitis. And, of course, rest is the prescription for that. He rested for a while, and then Sparky Anderson put him in the bullpen where he could start building up his strength and working short stretches. His last time out, he pitched 5 innings. That was in that 17-inning game in Philadelphia. He allowed only 1 run and 4 hits, so it looks like Don Gullett is about completely healthy again, and that means the Reds have quite a young pitcher going for them. Tommy Agee leading off against Don Gullett. Fastball outside. He can really throw. Year-old left-hander tries a curve inside and low, ball 2. Don Gullett from Lynn, Kentucky. He's only been in baseball 3 years, 1 year in the minors, 2 in the National League. Swing and a miss at a fastball, 2 balls and a strike. He had a half year at Sioux Falls after he signed and was 7-2. In 1970 at Cincinnati, he was in 44 games, mostly in relief, was 5-2. Last year, they made him a starter, and he was 16-6. And a looping drive into short right field, a base hit for Tommy Agee. Tommy Agee showing his strength. Just muscled that ball over the head of Joe Morgan into short right. It brings up Rusty Staub. Gullett went to the bullpen on May the 12th. He was 0-2. He's made 4 relief appearances and won twice, so his record is even now, 2-2. Rusty Staub facing the left-hander. Over the outside corner, strike 1 call. Rusty has lined to center. Grounded out to first, nothing for 2. Now the pitch by Don Gullett, and a foul ball on a check swing. Gary Nolan forced out of the action after 5 innings, allowed 1 run, gave up 4 hits. Walked 1, struck out 9. He is the pitcher of record. way inside to stop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tony Perez holding against Tommy Agee. Nobody out, last of the 6th inning. Don Gullett delivers 1 and 2. Ground ball hit slowly to shortstop Concepcion to Morgan. And on to first, double play. 6-4-3. Second double play in the game for Cincinnati. The first one was started by the third baseman, Javier. John Milner is the batter. He got New York on the scoreboard with his 5th home run of the year, his last time at bat. Certainly the longest home run we've seen at Shea Stadium this year. At a curve to the outside corner, breaking away from the left-hand batter, strike 1. Now Don Gullett fires, low outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Don Gullett, 21-year-old left-hander from Lynn, Kentucky. A 6-footer who weighs 190. And he throws bullets. 1 ball, 1 strike to Milner. Here's the pitch on the way. Foul to back toward the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Milner hangs in there tough against the left-handers. Pitching 1 and 2. Off the outside corner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cincinnati, 2 runs on 5 hits, 1 error. New York, 1 run, 5 hits, and 1 error. Last half of the 6th inning. Leon Jones hoping that Milner can save him a turn at bat. High, inside, ball 3. That's the fastest pitch Gullett has thrown. You can only hear it. Count 3 and 2 on Milner. The payoff delivery. Too high, ball 4. Milner draws a walk. We want to correct ourselves on Gary Nolan. We have been advised that it was not the instep, but rather a blister that reopened on the big toe of his right foot. He developed that in his last start. Cleon Jones, 1 for 2. Cleon had a ground single to deep short his first at bat. High and away, ball 1. Milner is on first base, 2 down. Gary Nolan walked 1 in the 5 innings he worked. Now a walk given up by Don Gullett. Gullett checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside and a high. 2 balls and no strikes. Wayne Garrett waiting on deck. Again, Perez holding against Milner. Milner builds the lead off first base. The 2-0 delivery, swing and a miss by Cleon Jones. 2 balls and a strike. And Don Gullett was right in his kitchen. He challenged him with a fastball in his eyes. The infield a stride to left, the outfield straight away. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. It's 2 and 2 to Cleon Jones. Much of the success of the Reds, like the New York Mets, has been because of outstanding bullpen work. Both clubs have had an excellent bullpen. 2 and 2 the count. And a high pop foul going out of play, back into the crowd behind the first base dugout. Interestingly enough, both bullpens have chalked up 16 saves this year. Clay Carroll leading the Cincinnati staff with 10. Doug McGraw leading the New York staff with 8. The addition of Tom Hall has strengthened the Cincinnati bullpen a lot. Pitching 2-2. And a drive well hit to right center. Colin running at full speed. He won't reach it. The ball bounced against the fence. Milner is being waved around third. He's flying home. No throw. The game is tied. Leon Jones ties the ball game with a long, well-stroked double to deep right center. On one hop, it was up on the fence at the 396 mark. And Milner, who can fly, came home by such a wide margin, there was no relay throw by Joe Morgan. Milner, with that great speed, had walked in front of the base hit to Cleon. The game is tied 2-2. Jones on second with an RBI double. And Wayne Garrett, the batter, takes a strike on the outside corner. John Milner has scored both of the New York runs. The first one when he homered, and now he scores on Cleon's double. The pitch to Wayne Garrett, and a curve on the outside corner, strike 2. We have a new ball game. It's tied up 2-2 in the last of the 6th inning. Don Gullett checks the runner at second, then the pitch to Garrett. It's swung on and missed, strike 3. Garrett goes down swinging. For Gullett, his first strikeout, 1 run, 2 hits. No errors, 1 left on. At the end of 6 innings, the Cincinnati Reds 2, the New York Mets 2.
Everything you need to know in paint and color is Devo. Rainbow colors, sugar please, are from Devo and Celanese. Got you covered out or in, got you covered big or thin. Paint a house or paint a wall, touch it up or cover all. Everything you need to know in paint and color is Devo. Rainbow colors, sugar please, are from Devo and Celanese.
In days of old, the knights were bold. Bold because they wore heavy armor and carried huge shields. Knights had to protect themselves from on-the-job hazards like evil villains and fire-breathing dragons. Maybe you don't rescue fair maidens for a living, but if your job demands safety gear and protective clothing, wear it. Don't get burned. For more information, contact the nearest office of the U.S. Department of Labor.
The Cincinnati Reds come up now in the top of the 7th inning. The New York Mets have Tug McGraw up and throwing in the bullpen. McAndrew has gone 6 innings, during which he has struck out 4 and walked 2, and allowing 2 runs on 5 hits. The runs came on a 2-run homer by Johnny Bench on a 1-2 pitch in the 4th inning. And now it is Dave Concepcion coming up. He is 0 for 1 in a sacrifice, a right-hand batter. Here's the first pitch by McAndrew. It's high for a ball. 1-0. Don Gullett, the pitcher, is on deck. Now here's a 1-0 delivery. And it's in there for a called strike. 1-1 to Concepcion. Score tied 2-2 in the Reds batting in the top half of the 7th inning. First game of a 3-game series at Shea Stadium. 1-1 pitch, and it's dealt low for a ball, 2-1. Tomorrow night, Gary Gentry goes for the Mets against Jim McLaughlin of the Cincinnati Reds. This pitch is swung on and hit deep to left center field. Agee moving over, and he's there for the catch. Tommy Agee going into the hole in left center to pull that one down. There's one away. Now Don Gullett is peeling off the jacket. Ed Sprague is throwing in the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds. He's a right-hander. Gullett batting for himself here. He is 3 for 8 at the plate, which means he has a batting average of .375. He is a right-hand batter. McAndrew deals, and it's right down the pipe for a called strike one. Pete Rose is on deck. With the Mets coming back to tie, there's a foul ball out of play. In the bottom of the 6th inning, it means, of course, that Gary Nolan cannot be the winner no matter what. Pitchers of record are the pitchers in the ballgame right now. McAndrew for the Mets and Gullett for the Cincinnati Reds. It's a 2-strike count as again McAndrew delivers a pitch, swung on and missed, struck him out. Strikeout number 5 credited to McAndrew. 2 Reds away here in the 7th inning. And Pete Rose is the batter. Struck out, flied out, and walked. The National League's leading batter in 1968 and 69. He's made the All-Star team for 5 consecutive years. He's at .300 or better for 7 consecutive years. The only active players other than Rose who've done that are Willie Mays and Roberto Clemente. Pitch to the left-hand batting switch hitter, and it's curve inside low for a ball, 1-0. Joe Morgan is on deck. Now here's the 1-0 pitch. It's outside high, so it goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Two men out, nobody on base. Score tied 2-2. And the 2-0 delivery, not a road. Right in there. A popper for a call strike. It's 2-1. Outfield defense swung around toward right, playing Pete Rose to pull the ball. Pitch is high and away, so it's 3 balls and a strike. Rose said some years back that one of his ambitions was to become the first singles hitter to make $100,000. That's a foul ball off and out of play. Well, he made it. Count is full at 3-2. This is the payoff pitch. Swung it on the ground to short. It's a big hop now to Harrelson across the diamond in time. Side is out in order. Nothing across, and in the middle of the 7th inning, the score is the Mets 2 and the Reds 2.
Probably the most important financial and personal decision you will make in your lifetime is the one to buy a home. It represents one of, if not the largest financial commitment a family can make. Doesn't it make sense then to use the aid of a professional? Florence Italy Realtor is a professional. She is a member of the National Association of Real Estate Boards. Florence Italy and her sales staff can help you buy the most home for your money and the one satisfying your needs. Call Florence Italy Realtor today at 762-8500. 762-8500.
Life is a mystery when you don't see things as they are. Clear it up with regular examinations by a vision specialist. That's good advice from the American Optometric Association.
Remember last week when you said next week you'd spend more time with your children? It's next week. A thought from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
And now, since this is fraternal night here at Shea Stadium, the Masons and the Knights of Columbus have asked the fans to join in singing Columbia, the Gem of the Ocean. So they're standing up all around the ballpark on this fraternal night, joining in song. Meanwhile, the New York Mets will send up Jerry Grody here in the bottom of the 7th. Now keep in mind, just a thought in the back of your head, that the Cincinnati Reds have a left-hander in there. The score is tied, and that means that the New York Mets have a right-hander on the bench named Willie Mays, who might or might not make a subsequent appearance in this ball game. In any case, Grody's up. He was on an error at third by Javier, and he lined out to right. Here's Gullett's pitch, and it's in for a called strike. That fastball flown in there, and Gullett can throw, believe me. Strike one. McAndrew's out there on deck. Tug McGraw continues to throw in the Met bullpen. Here's the strike one pitch. Curveball high, and it's 1-1. The Reds got 2 runs in the top of the fourth on a 2-run homer by Johnny Bench. In the bottom of the fourth, the Mets got 1 back on a long home run by John Milner, then tied it in the bottom of the sixth. Here's a swing and a foul ball off and out of play. Milner walked, and Jones doubled him home for the tying marker. 1-2 is the count to Grody. Johnny Bench flashes the sign. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swung on it in the air to right field. Moving back is Cesar Geronimo. He's there and he makes the catch. 1 away. McAndrew goes back and it's Beecham coming out. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
WIZR FM Johnstown.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy at Shea Stadium, and Jim Beecham is being sent up to bat for McAndrew, which means that with the score tied, manager Yogi Berra wants to save Willie Mays for bigger and better things later on, perhaps. Beecham has been up only 28 times this year. He has 5 hits. He's hitting 179 with 3 runs batted, and he is, of course, a right-hand batter. So Jim Beecham batting for McAndrew. Tug McGraw's in the bullpen. McAndrew credited with 7 innings. Gave up 2 runs on 5 hits. He struck out 5 and he walked 2. Don Gullett with 1 man out. Into the motion. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit deep to left field, and it's curving away from Pete Rose. He's over to cut it off now, and rounding, holding it first is Beecham with a single to right on the first pitch. So the Mets have the potential go-ahead run on at first. 1 man out and Bud Harrelson coming up. Beecham didn't wait. He drilled that ball to left. Pete Rose hustled over, cut it off to keep him from taking an extra base. Clay Carroll is up and throwing now. Right-hander Clay Carroll is throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. As the switch hitter, Bud Harrelson, turns around to bat right-handed. He's looking down to sign man Eddie Yost to see what, if anything, is on here. Harrelson batting left-handed. Grounded out, flied out, and flied out. Beecham takes the lead at first. Perez holds against him there. Don Gullett sets up. Here's the pitch, and it's a fastball outside. Ball 1 to Harrelson with Fregosi waiting on deck. The Reds 2 and the Mets 2 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Shea Stadium in New York. Don Gullett again comes set. Here is the 1-0 delivery, and it's on the way. In there for a call strike. It's 1-1 to Bud Harrelson. He had no intention of swinging at that. He was taking all the way. He looks down now to Eddie Yost to see if anything is on this 1-1 pitch. Beecham takes the lead at first, and here is the 1-1 delivery. Swung on and missed. Fastball, threw it by him. It's 1-2. Don Gullett kicks at the rubber a time or two. Now he's up and coming set. The 1-2 delivery. And it's high and tight for a ball. 2-2 to Bud Harrelson. Outfield defense shaded toward right on Harrelson as they figure he won't get around on Gullett's fastball. This will be a 2-2 offering, and it's on the way. High and away. The count is full at 3-2. Now, to the Mets run Beecham on 3-2, 1 away. With Fregosi on deck and the score tied. That's the managerial decision involved here. Do you run the runner at first on the pitch? He takes the lead, Beecham does. He's holding. Here's the pitch high, and it's a walk. That moves Beecham to second. Potential go-ahead run in scoring position at second. Harrelson on at first. 1 man out, and Fregosi coming up. Johnny Bench has gone to the mound. Joe Morgan comes in, both to talk to the young man, Don Gullett. Harrelson on base for the 20th consecutive game on this, his birthday. Now the crowd starts a chant of "Let's go Mets" as Fregosi comes up. Jim Fregosi is a right-hand batter who is 1 for 3, facing the left-hand pitcher, Don Gullett. Met runners lead at first and second. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit high in the air to right field. Playable to Cesar Geronimo. Runners holding. Geronimo's there. Makes the catch. No advance. 2 men out, and Tommy Agee will be the batter. Agee, batting against Gullett in the 6th inning, looped a single to right field. Got around a little late, actually, on a fastball, and looped it out into right. Earlier, Garrett was a base runner in a circumstance where McAndrew looped a single to center, and he did not advance. So here with 2 men out, runners will be going on anything. Score tied, 2-2. Doug McGraw will be coming in at the end of the inning for the New York Mets. He is continuing to warm up. With Agee at the plate, Rusty Staub moves out on deck. Beecham at second, Harrelson at first. Gullett sets and deals. That's in for a call strike to Tommy Agee. Agee has a season's batting average of .297. Now again, runners lead, and the strike one delivery is low and is taken out on a short hop in the dirt by Johnny Bench. It was a breaking pitch cranked down on by Gullett. 1 ball and 1 strike. This then will be the 1-1 delivery. It's in for a call strike at the knees. It's 1-2 to Agee. Paid crowd here tonight is 29,353. Total crowd in the ballpark is 30,290. This will be a 1-2 delivery. It's on the way, and it's a little low, so the count's even at 2-2. The umpire behind the plate gets the hand as he retrieves a piece of paper out in front of the plate, doing a little groundskeeping. Bench flashes the sign. This will be a 2-2 pitch to Agee. Low, the count's full at 3-2, which means an automatic start for the runners. Beecham at second and Harrelson at first will be off and winging on the pitch. 3-2 to Agee at the plate with Staub on deck and 2 men out, and the score tied 2-2. Gullett looks for the sign, and he has it. Runners go. Here's a swing and a drive into left. Beecham is rounding third. He's coming home. Here's the throw to third base. And Beecham scores as Harrelson holds up to let him get across. He's tagged out by third baseman Javier, but Harrelson wisely held up to allow Beecham to cross that plate with a run that counts. Had he gone on into third, he might have been tagged out before the run crossed the plate, but he held up, giving himself up to let the run score. It's a single and a run batted in for Agee, and the play goes 7-5 on Harrelson. Beecham scored. The inning is over, but the Mets have taken a lead. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 7 full innings of play, the score is the Mets 3 and the Reds 2.
You hear a lot of talk about consumer protection. But no amount of legislation will ever replace that personal relationship between you and the man you deal with. That's why the Dodge Boys are currently running the line, The Dodge Boys Think About You. Not just because the line has a nice ring to it, but because the Dodge Boys are serious about keeping you satisfied. Now, they've been selling cars and trucks for a long time. They may not be the biggest dealers around, but they sure try to be the best, for one sound reason. They simply want you to come back for another Dodge. So when you talk, the Dodge Boys listen. That's not to say the Dodge Boys always bat 1,000, but when they don't, they want to hear about it, and they want to make it right. So that's their philosophy, to lock themselves into every sale to keep you satisfied. See the Dodge Boys. Find out about their personal kind of consumer protection.
For the best deal on a new Dodge or Subaru, see Howland Pearson Dodge City, Main Street, Johnstown.
Doug McGraw comes in to do the pitching now for the New York Mets. He has a record of 3 wins and 1 loss. This is his 16th appearance. Last time out, he went 1 2/3 and had a save for Seaver. The New York Mets have taken the lead in an inning in which Jim McAndrew was removed for the pinch hitter. So McAndrew is the pitcher of record as he is out of the ball game, having worked 7 innings, given up 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 5 and walked 2. But McAndrew is pitcher of record because the Mets have taken the lead. Again, recapitulating the last play of the inning. Agee was up there with a 3-2 count. Beecham, the runner, at second. Harrelson at first. They were off and running on the pitch, of course, and when Agee lined the ball into left field, Beecham rounded third and headed for home. Pete Rose hustled up the ball on 1 hop. Seeing that he had no chance to get Beecham, instead he fired to third. Now it becomes a matter of time. If they tag Harrelson before Beecham crosses the plate, the run does not count. So Harrelson put on the brakes, came to a skidding halt, retreated. And so Beecham scored, and Harrelson was tagged out. But Harrelson made a heads-up play in taking no chances of being tagged out before Beecham crossed the plate with the go-ahead run. So now the Reds are up in the top of the 8th inning. Joe Morgan is the batter. He's a left-hand batter, facing left-hand pitcher Tug McGraw. Morgan has flied to right, was called out on strikes, and fouled out to second base. He's gone 0 for 3. McGraw takes a deep breath before getting ready to work his first pitch of the night. And here it is. Breaking pitch, and it's low for a ball. Fregosi stays in the cutout of the grass at third against the left-hand batter Joe Morgan, who has very excellent speed. Now the 1-0 delivery. Swung on, line down the left field line, a foul ball by about 3 or 4 feet. Slicing off the bat of the left-hand batter, of course, so it's 1-1. The New York Mets keep their bullpen warm now, with McGraw pitching here in the top half of the 8th inning. They keep it going. Right-hander Danny Frisella, left-hander Ray Sadecki in the Met bullpen. The Mets are leading by a score of 3-2. The Mets have had 8 hits, and the Cincinnati Reds have had 5. Morgan went over to get a little pine tar. Now he's come back into the batter's box. This is a 1-1 delivery to Joe Morgan. And it's high, a fastball, so it goes to 2-1. Bobby Tolan is on deck, and he's followed by Johnny Bench. Power in the Cincinnati Reds batting order here in the top half of the 8th inning. Now the 2-1. And it's in there for a called strike. It's 2-2 to Joe Morgan. Morgan is the man that the Cincinnati Reds wanted from Houston when they made the big deal. They did not want to give up Lee May, but they had to give up Lee May in order to swing the big deal. Gave up Jimmy Stewart, Tommy Helms as well. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Hit on the ground to first base. Jones waits for the hop and jogs to the bag unassisted. 1 away. Joe Morgan grounding out to Cleon Jones at first base. Bobby Tolan's the batter. He's had 2 hits here tonight. He's gone 2 for 3. First time up, he popped out, and then he singled, scored. He was on base when Johnny Bench hit his home run. Oddly enough, just before that, they had played hit and run, and Bench had missed, and Tolan was out by such a margin, would have been out, that he turned around and went back to first. So in the rundown, Jones dropped the ball, was charged with an error as Tolan arrived safely at second. Here's the pitch to the left-hand batter, and it's a fastball low. Minnesota Twins have scored 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning to tie the Baltimore Orioles at 4-4 going to the bottom of the 9th in Baltimore. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Tolan. Rocked him back a little high. It's 2-0. Johnny Bench is on deck. Bench has been the hottest thing in the major leagues in the last week or so. This will be a 2-0 delivery now to Tolan. That's a fastball right in there for a called strike. It's 2-1. Tolan wasn't anxious to swing. He was waiting him out a little bit. The Reds came into this game having won 7 in a row on the road. Here's the 2-1 delivery now to Bobby Tolan, and it's swung out and missed. The fastball by him. It's 2-2. Reds have won 19 of their last 24 games to move up within 1/2 game of the top rung in the Western Division of the National League. Trailed the Dodgers by a half. 2-2 pitch, swung on, foul down the left field line. It's out of play into the lower boxes. So the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bobby Tolan. This caller last year with a torn Achilles tendon. He tore it in a basketball game during the winter. When he came back, he tried to run, tore it again. Big figure for the Reds when they won the National League pennant in 1970. Here's a 2-2. Swung on and missed. Breaking pitch struck him out. Tug McGraw with his first strikeout. 2 Reds away, and here's Johnny Bench now. Johnny Bench grounded out his first time up, hit a 2-run homer his second time up. 8 home runs in 7 days for Johnny Bench, and then he hit into a double play in the 6th inning. Right-hand batter on a tough one. Most valuable player year before last. Here's the Scroogie, and he drops it in there for a call strike. It backed Johnny Bench away a little. Screwball is effective, most effective against the right-hand batter because it breaks away from him. Simply turned over by the pitcher, and McGraw's a left-hander. Here's the strike one delivery. And he hits him in the back. Bench is hit by the pitch ball. He turns and goes to first. So the Reds pick up a base runner, and Tony Perez is coming up. A potential tying run is on at first with 2 men out. Perez popped to second, grounded third to first, and walked so far. He's hitting .278 for the season, right-hand batter. Jones playing a step behind the runner at first base, just off the bag. He'll retreat on the pitch. McGraw sets up, off the stretch now. Here's the pitch to Perez. Low and dug out on the short hop by catcher Jerry Grody. Moving out on deck is Cesar Geronimo. The Mets are leading by a score of 3-2 with the Reds batting in the top half of the 8th inning. This will be a 1-0 delivery now. Right in there. Zips the fastball in for a called strike. It's 1-1. Big crowd here tonight put the Mets up to just about the 575,000 mark in paid attendance for the season so far. Here's the 1-1. A little low, so it goes to 2 balls and a strike now to Tony Perez. Perez back at first base this year for the Reds after having been stationed over there at third for a couple of seasons. He came up as a first baseman, but they wanted a place for Lee May to play, and Perez, being the better athlete, played third. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on line to short. Harrelson has it for the out. Bud Harrelson drops to one knee and gloves the ball for the put out. A line shot. Oh, the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. A hit batsman and 1 left. In the middle of the 8th inning, the score is the Mets 3 and the Reds 2. Now here's a special reminder for all you senior citizens. Another Senior Citizens Day is scheduled here at Shea Stadium on Thursday afternoon. That's day after tomorrow, June the 8th, when the Mets take on the Cincinnati Reds at 2:05 p.m. in the finale of a 3-game series. All senior citizens, 60 years of age and over, will be admitted to Shea that day for a 50-cent service charge. So why don't you take advantage of an opportunity to relax at the ballpark? Watch Johnny Bench and company challenge the New York Mets. And by the way, the Mets, day after tomorrow, will be pitching Tom Seaver. He'll be going against Ross Grimsley of the Cincinnati Reds. So remember the date, day after tomorrow, Thursday afternoon, June 8th, when Tom Seaver and the Mets meet Johnny Bench and the Reds in a single game at 2:05 p.m. Senior Citizens Day, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you here, enjoying the day at Shea as much as we'll enjoy having you here. Staub is up now to lead off for the New York Mets in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Staub has gone hitless in 3 trips tonight. He lined to center, grounded out first base to the pitcher covering, and grounded into a double play. Left-hander facing left-hander, and the pitch is low for a ball. Pitcher of record for the Cincinnati Reds on the short side is Don Gullett. Pitcher of record for the Mets on the long side is Jim McAndrew. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and a fastball inside at the belt. Turned him around. It's 2-0. John Milner's on deck. Milner scored 2 of the Mets' 3 runs here tonight. This is a 2-0 delivery. That is outside for a ball, so it goes to 3-0. Here's a final score at Jarry Park in Montreal. The Atlanta Braves 3 and the Montreal Expos 2. Ron Reed got the win. He's 4-6. Ernie McAnally took the loss. He's 1-6. Darrell Evans hit his 9th homer, and the third was one on for Atlanta. There's a called strike. Zip 10. It's 3-1. And the Oakland A's have defeated the Cleveland Indians by a score of 7-2. But Raleigh Fingers gets the win. Vida Blue started. 3-1. Hit on the ground to first base. Taken by Parrish. Jogging to the bag unassisted. There's one away. John Milner coming up. He had a long home run in the 4th inning. He walked and later scored in the 6th. He's 1 for 2 officially. Milner getting a hand in his rookie season here at Shea. In Cleveland tonight, Vida Blue started for Oakland, but Darrell Knowles relieved him in the 7th. Raleigh Fingers in the 7th got the win, as Oakland got 2 in the 8th and 4 in the 9th to win it. So Blue did not figure in the final outcome, and it's still 1-0 and lost 2. Reggie Jackson hit his 12th homer in the 9th inning with 2 men on for Oakland. There's a pitch high to Milner. Texas Rangers have scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. So going to the 7th, it is Texas 6 and the Yankees 2. Lindy McDaniel has relieved Fritz Peterson. Frank Howard hit his 3rd home in the 4th inning. Dick Bosman going for Texas. Swinging a ground ball to short. Scooped up by Dave Concepcion to throw to first in time. 2 away. Cleon Jones is coming up. He's had 2 hits tonight, and he drove in a run in the 6th inning. It was the tying run. If you want to look ahead to the top of the 9th inning, the Cincinnati Reds will be sending up Cesar Geronimo, Julian Javier, and Dave Concepcion. The 6th, 7th, and 8th men in the batting order. The Mets have a 3-2 lead, and they're batting in the bottom of the 8th inning. Don Gullett with the pitch, and it is in there for a call strike to Cleon Jones. Mets just keep that bullpen working right along. Double barrel action. Here's the strike one delivery, and it's swung on and hit deep to left field. Pete Rose goes back, and one hands the ball for the out in the warning track in left field. So the side's out in order, nothing across, and at the end of 8 innings, the score is the Mets 3 and the Reds 2.
Hi, this is Johnny Cash. I bet you collect thousands of tips in your lifetime, but I'd like to pass on what could prove to be the most important tip of all from your American Cancer Society. A yearly health checkup could help save your life. Many thousands of lives are saved from cancer each year in just this routine way, so don't be an ostrich when it comes to your health. There is something worse than finding out that you have cancer, and that's not finding out. If you should have cancer and it's discovered and treated early, chances are you'll join the long line of folks who have had cancer and live to talk about it. Your American Cancer Society says yearly health checkups are one of our strongest defenses against this disease. While we're on the subject, your neighborhood volunteer will be coming around soon. Please continue to be generous, and maybe there won't be any cancer to talk about one of these days soon.
So fight cancer with a checkup and a check to your American Cancer Society.
We go to the top of the 9th now. The Mets have a 1-run lead. McGraw is on the mound, and skipper Sparky Anderson of the Cincinnati Reds is going to his bench. He's going to put up Hal McRae to bat for Cesar Geronimo. McRae is hitting .281. He has 2 home runs and 12 runs batted in. So McRae will be put up to bat for Geronimo. Let's keep the bullpen going. It's Kuzman and Capra now. Left-handed Jerry Kuzman, right-handed Buzz Capra. Now the announcement of McRae. Cincinnati has Clay Carroll throwing in the bullpen so that they'll be ready to put up a pinch hitter if they get as far as Don Gullett in the batting order. He's scheduled to bat 4th. McRae's in there right now, and here's McGraw's first pitch in the 9th. Fouled off and out of play. On the ground, rolling into the corner of the Cincinnati dugout. It's strike one. Hal McRae. Last year, he and Bernie Carbo were platooned a great deal in the outfield. Carbo is a left-hand batter who's since been traded to St. Louis. Here's the pitch. A little high, so it's 1-1. In the corner of the dugout, Roy Foster is at the bat rack for the Cincinnati Reds. Javier is out there on deck. Here's a foul ball right off the end of the bat. It was a Scroogie breaking away from him, and he just got the end of the bat on it. So it's 1-2. Jerry Grody now sending a sign out to Tug McGraw, who is working in relief of Jim McAndrew. This is a 1-2 pitch. It's inside high, so it's 2-2 now. The 2-2 delivery, and it's on the way. Swung on and lined back to McGraw. He makes the catch for the out. McGraw ducked underneath, threw up the glove, and hauled down the line drive. He was in a sitting position when he hauled it in. The hand is for McGraw. That was a line shot. He ducked underneath, but threw the glove up over his head, and in a sitting position, hauled down the line drive for the out. So there's one away. That brings up Julian Javier. He's 1 for 3, right-hand batter. Came to the Cincinnati Reds from the St. Louis Cardinals in exchange for Tony Cloninger during spring training. Javier put in about 11 good years in the uniform of the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's a swing and a ground ball is short. It's taken by McGraw, who cut it off and placed the first in time. Harrelson was charging him, but McGraw got over to the third base side to cut it off before it got there. There are 2 men out now, and Concepcion is coming up. Tug McGraw thought that 3 men were out and started to the dugout. He thought the game was over, and he was cut off at the first baseline by Jerry Grody. There are 2 men out. McGraw now is standing with his back to the plate, taking a deep breath. He thought it was the third out. He is looking into the dugout sheepishly and grinning, holds out a palm as though to say, "What can I tell you?" and drops the rosin bag, pops the ball into his glove. 2 men out, nobody on. Concepcion is at the plate. Here's the pitch. It's a Scroogie in for a called strike. Concepcion looking at the breaking pitch. George Foster at the bat rack. Nobody on deck. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He chased the Scroogie that time and missed it by a foot. 2 strikes to Concepcion. He's gone 0 for 2 in the sacrifice. The Mets are leading 3-2. 2 men out. Nobody on base. The Reds batting in the 9th. The pitch swung on and missed. The game is over. Tug McGraw now marches in a military manner toward the dugout. Yogi Berra is coming out to meet him, and Rube Walk is coming out to meet him. It's the 9th save posted by McGraw. McAndrew gets his 5th win, and the Cincinnati Reds winning streak has been snapped. In the 9th inning, nothing across. We'll be back in a moment with a final summary and totals. Right now, the final score of the game is the Mets 3 and the Reds 2.
Everything you need to know in paint and color is Devo. Rainbow colors, sugar thieves are from Devo and Celanese. Got you covered out or in, got you covered big or thin. Paint a house or paint a wall, touch it up or cover all. Everything you need to know in paint and color is Devo. Rainbow colors, sugar thieves are from Devo and Celanese.
In days of old, the knights were bold. Bold because they wore heavy armor and carried huge shields. Knights had to protect themselves from on-the-job hazards like evil villains and fire-breathing dragons. Maybe you don't rescue fair maidens for a living, but if your job demands safety gear and protective clothing, wear it. Don't get burned. For more information, contact the nearest office of the U.S. Department of Labor.
First meeting of the season between the New York Mets and the Cincinnati Reds. The Mets have won it by a score of 3-2, and thereby they have snapped a 7-game winning streak for the Cincinnati Reds that had carried them within a half game of the top in the Western Division. The New York Mets then pick up a half game on the second-place Pittsburgh Pirates, pending the outcome of the Pirates game later tonight against the Padres on the West Coast. So as of this moment, the Mets are leading by 4 games, but that is subject to the outcome of the game in San Diego. Jim McAndrew gets credit for the win here tonight. He has won 5 and he has lost 1. Don Gullett is charged with a loss. He's won 2 and he has lost 3. And Tug McGraw gets the save, and it is his 9th save of this year. In one-run games, the New York Mets have the astounding record now of 14 wins and 1 loss. The Mets' overall record is 32 wins and 13 losses. We'll be back to tell you more about this game in just 1 minute.
It's news to you, the different views to you. Radio gets bigger.
While news type is still being set and film is being processed, radio is headlining with the big news of the moment. What's going on is going out over the air. Get with a voice that really gets to you.
Radio gets bigger.
News from every part of the country. News that could change your life. If you're not getting your news from radio, make a change for the better. Turn up your radio, where all the news turns up first.
Radio gets bigger.
No scoring in the ballgame tonight until the top half of the 4th inning, as Jim McAndrew had held the Cincinnati Reds at bay and Gary Nolan had done likewise against the Mets. As a matter of fact, McAndrew had allowed only 1 base hit going to the 4th, and he struck out Morgan to open up that inning. Then Bobby Tolan ripped a single to right. And on a hit-and-run play, Johnny Bench at the plate missed, and Bobby Tolan was hung up in a rundown. The ball was dropped by Cleon Jones. They still had a close play on Tolan at second, but he was called safe, and an error was charged against Jones. And then Johnny Bench, on a 1-2 pitch, hit a home run over the left field fence, marking the 8th home run he has hit in the last 7 games, tying him for the Major League home run lead with Dave Kingman. Each has 14. So the Cincinnati Reds had a 2-run lead. As it turned out, that's all that they would get, because McAndrew continued on through the 7th inning, holding them at bay. And meanwhile, in the bottom of the 4th, John Milner hit a long home run, one of the longest here this year. It went high off the scoreboard and right to give the Mets a run in the bottom of the 4th inning. Then in the 6th inning, Milner drew a walk and was doubled home by Cleon Jones. So it was all tied up. That was off Gullett because Gary Nolan had to leave the game when he rubbed up a blister, reopened a blister on the big toe of his right foot. So Beecham was sent up to bat for McAndrew in the 7th inning, and on the first pitch he singled. Bud Harrelson drew a walk, and then on the 3-2 pitch, A.G. singled to left. Beecham scored, and the New York Mets had it won because McGraw continued shutting out the Cincinnati Reds the rest of the way, and the Mets won it 3-2. We'll be back with more in just 1 minute. Now here's a word from...
It was a war they didn't want and could not stop. But the boys are coming home. But coming home to what? Some 200,000 men will be partially or wholly disabled for the rest of their lives in this Vietnam era. Speaking out to help these men is an organization of disabled veterans. It's the DAV. Its membership has braved the same terror and pain. Its national service officers on duty in every VA regional office are helping the combat disabled become useful, self-supporting citizens. If you know someone war-weary and disabled, let the DAV know. They can help. Write DAV, Washington, D.C. That address again? DAV, Washington, D.C.
We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
WIZR-FM Johnstown.
Here are the final totals for the Mets. 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and 6 left. For Cincinnati, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, and 6 left. McAndrew gets the win. He's won 5 and lost 1. Gillett takes the loss. He's 2 and 3. McAndrew gets his 9th save. Be with us tomorrow at 8 p.m. when the Mets meet the Cincinnati Reds. Final score again, the Mets 3, the Reds 2.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really knocking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the M-E-T-S Mets of New York Town.
Insurance, Sarris's Restaurant, your Agway store, Florence Sitterly Realtor, and Howell and Pearson. This is the New York Mets Radio Network.